Yesterday was one small win for the 49ers and one giant leap for the 49ers quarterback narrative controversy thing. Good evening. Welcome to a special Monday primetime emergency Cohn Zone featuring Lowell Cohn, Grant Cohn, your hosts. Just got back from Arizona, which is why we're doing a little bit later today. My dad had a deep cleaning at the dentist, so his mouth is hygienic. And now we need to talk about what the Niners did or didn't prove in Arizona. Football's a weird sport. In baseball or basketball, a team plays a game, then they play another one the next day. And if it's a verstunken game, you just move on. In football, you still got to talk about the verstunken game and the implications all week. And this one was a doozy. The Niners won. They beat the Cardinals. And wow, the takes, the conclusions that people have had because the Niners beat the Cardinals. Dad, what did the Niners actually prove in Arizona, and what didn't they?
Okay. What they proved yesterday by murdering the Cardinals is nothing. And I want to repeat, they proved nothing. That's the mature, prudent takeaway from the game. You can't put them down for winning because they won. On the other hand, you can't say, oh, this proves they're elite. This proves they're one of the best teams in the NFL. This proves they have a great quarterback because he came back and he was able to run the offense. All of that is noise.
Yeah.
All of that is as flimsy as cotton candy. They played one of the very worst teams in the league that played worse than they are. Iggy, they had 17 penalties. Those are unforced errors. They didn't have their starting running back. They didn't have their best wide receiver, and they didn't have their quarterback. And so all credit to the 49ers for winning, but they didn't prove anything. We didn't learn anything from that game that we can take away and project to say they're a playoff team, they're a Super Bowl team. All they did was get past the week.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that the week before when they played the Rams. That's a real test. And the Niners were really exposed in that game. Even though they didn't have their starting quarterback, Mac Jones wasn't the reason they lost. Their defense was the reason they lost. And their defense is going to be the reason they don't go far enough, don't win a Super Bowl this year unless something changes. And something could change, but it's not going to change by beating the Arizona Cardinals. And I just think maybe today we're going to talk a little bit about like the conversation around the team, because again, we didn't learn that much about the team in this game. And I think it's interesting, just football coverage, how people want to have a strong opinion. And it's hard to have a real strong opinion about the Niners after this particular game.
Yeah, and I understand. I'm not a fan. You're not a fan. Fans want to feel positive. We went down and we were on the road. We won. That's very good. And of course, it is very good. But it doesn't mean that much. It's a difference between being good. Loss would have been bad. Between being a good thing and being a significant thing. They're 7-4, good record. How good are they? It is still to be determined after 11 games how good they are. And we didn't learn anything based on yesterday about that. We didn't. And in fact, you could even say there are some things that you take away from this awful game that make you pause. Brissett, such a hard worker, so brave. I really admire him. But Iggy, he's a high-level backup quarterback. He's not really a starter. Iggy, he completed 47 passes yesterday. Now, you could say they were a lot of dink and dunk and all that. Completed 47 passes, and some of them are long passes. So it makes you think, what does that mean about the defense? The Niners defense couldn't get to Brissett. Kyler Murray is very elusive. I don't like his work, but he's very elusive. Brissett isn't. He's sort of a statue. He's tough. I really admire him. But you could sack him. The Niners, Iggy, did they sack him?
Not once.
No. I mean, that's troubling. I don't imagine that Arizona has a great offensive line, but they couldn't sack this guy who really isn't all that mobile. That's troubling. So I would that's one of my takeaways from the game. That sure they won, but I still am puzzled about the defense.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of the major takeaways that I read and heard from this game were about the offense. Wow, boom, this really proves that the offense can be top 5 in the league. This really proves that Brock Purdy is head and shoulders better than Mac Jones. When really, to me, the only thing I really learned about the Niners in this game is that the defense is a bigger issue than I even realized. Like, Robert Saleh isn't going to fix this. And all the best he can do on a week to week basis is to play soft zone coverage and to just beg the other team not to throw down the field and concede these short passes over and over and over again and hope that the other team longer to score than it takes the 49ers offense. That while you're scoring, 22 to 30 points, the Niners offense will score 35 quickly. That's the best they can do.
Iggy, why is he playing soft zone coverage?
Because he has no pass rush.
Explain it more.
Absolutely no pass rush. So if he blitzes and they give up easy completions, those can turn into big plays, and big plays flip the field like turnovers. And so I guess what he's trying to do right now is, here, why don't you just throw the 6-yard pass? Throw the 6-yard pass and make the guy catch it and make the guy get tackled and then huddle up again and then do a 10 to 15 play drive, take a lot of time. Our offense will score faster. That's basically the best the Niners can do right now because they didn't make a move at the trade deadline.
And you don't blame Saleh for that. That's the best he can.
Yeah, I mean, against the Rams, he tried bringing a lot of pressure. It didn't work. So they even talked about it. We were really aggressive against the Rams. We got burned. We give up a lot of big plays. So all we're trying to do is not give up a lot of big plays and make them, work for it, is the way they put it, as opposed to, a 50-yard gain.
And that's sort of Vic Fangio's philosophy, isn't it, Iggy?
Yeah, bend but don't break, all that stuff. And it can work if your offense is scoring 40 and if, you're facing the Arizona Cardinals. It works. But we'll see if it works in a playoff game.
Right. If your schedule was 17 games against the Arizona Cardinals, you'd be really something.
Yeah, that's what we learned in this game. So let's take it one more step. The media really, really threw a parade for the 49ers for winning this game the way they did with Brock Purdy out there. What a coronation. Like, wow, they're back. This proves that they're the team they think they are. They won one game. It was against the Arizona Cardinals. I think we should talk about how the media should respond to this win, because it's kind of a reflection of how the team responds to this win. This team hasn't won back-to-back games since week 3. And every time they win a game, there's this, see, they're back kind of a feeling that it doesn't seem like helps.
Okay. I want to first explain how media thinks, because I was media. Mm-hmm. You have a game. Let's say you're like me, a columnist, or you're writing the main story of the game, the main story. Like Ira Miller and I would be at a game. I would write the column, he would write the story, but sometimes they were similar because the quarterback came back. That's the news. That made that game different from all other games. It made that different from all other games. Okay. Mm-hmm. So clearly you're thinking about the quarterback. And believe me, when you're on deadline, and are these people on deadline anymore? I don't know. You're nervous. And very often, as Jim Harbaugh would say, you reach for the low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. I would do it too. If I were covering that game, I'd write some horseshit column about how Purdy was back and blah, 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 blah. But I wouldn't believe it in my heart. I wouldn't think that was the real story. But you want to get through the day. So I understand why people did it. I would have done it. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I'm retired now for almost 10 years. And it's a horseshit angle because Mac Jones threw 3 touchdown passes the previous week against the Rams, who are really good. Brock threw 3 touchdown passes against a minor league team. Let's face it. So he didn't do really much better than Mac Jones had done. And let's extend it. Let's say Mac Jones had played yesterday. He would have been great. He wouldn't have lost the game. He would have won. Iggy, as you said on one of your broadcasts, the third string quarterback, what's his name?
Adrian Martinez.
He would have won the game. He would have won the game.
Yeah.
So the idea, in spite of what I would have done if I were a working journalist, to say that this proves anything about Brock Purdy is complete horseshit. It doesn't. It just proves that he's a pretty good quarterback, as Mac Jones is, and he could beat an absolutely abysmal team. There is no statement you can make that based on that game, that he's an elite quarterback, although he may prove to be one. But based on that game, you can't say it. You can't say the offense is back. You can't say the 49ers are now playing 49er football. That's all phony. It's all phony.
Here's what I want to say. Back a long time ago, when I was 8 and I was a fan of the 49ers and Steve Young was the quarterback and the leader, they'd win a game like this against the Arizona Cardinals late in the season, the team's tanking. They wouldn't blink. They wouldn't celebrate. They wouldn't puff their chest out. They wouldn't talk about what it means. Steve would probably say privately, maybe even publicly, like, we were supposed to win this game. This means nothing. We have a lot more business to take care of. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear us talking about this anymore. It's over. We have bigger tests. We flunked the test the week before against the Rams. This means nothing. And that's the mark of a team that's really going places, when they can put a win like this in perspective. Had to have it. Glad to have it, but we're not going to make it more than it is.
I can guarantee you that Steve would have said that, and said it any number of times. Steve was a leader, and he would say, look, we beat them. Good. We beat them. Good. But this is a very bad team, and we don't need to take it that, oh, we're back. We need to take it, oh, we have a lot of work to do, because it proved nothing. And he would have been a voice of truth and a reality test in that locker room.
Yeah.
Now, Iggy, I don't go to the post-game stuff anymore. If I'm incorrect, you or the viewers can. I'm not there. I got the impression that Kittle, from his manner and his posture, acted as if they had accomplished something, and more than accomplished, proved something.
Yep.
Proved that Purdy is the better quarterback and that their offense is back. And what I'm saying, that is dangerous thinking. It leads to unreality, and it leads to complacency. What he should say, and George, if I have it wrong, I apologize. We're never going to meet each other, so I really actually don't care what you think. What he should have said would be what Steve said. We took care of business. We did it on the road. That's very good. All credit to the Arizona Cardinals. They don't have their quarterback. They don't have their running back. They didn't have their wide receiver. They know they're not going anywhere. They really didn't put up much of a fight. Other times they did. Last season they did. We can't take too much from this. We have to take this victory humbly and know we're not there yet. That's how a winner does it. That's how Steve would have done it.
It's funny. I love the word humble, because when they lose these games every other week, you think, okay, this is the one that really humbles them in a good way. But then they win the following week, and it seems like their response is not just their response, but the media's response is, see, they really were good. You guys overreacted last week. This team is great. They're going places. Everything's going according to plan. Nah, I mean, you lost you got to be humble even after a win. Like, it's November. You win when you lose one, back and forth every week, and that's your fault. And they said it after they lost to the Rams. Christian McCaffrey said it in the locker room. He's like, we just get too up after these wins. Like, we got to be more, I don't know if you use the word professional, but we can't celebrate a random win and talk about what we proved. And again, with George, he was the one after the Rams game that said, no, you don't understand. Brock's coming back. Our offense is going to carry the way. So it's like the game proved that his narrative was correct. Fuck the narrative. You got to get to the playoffs and make a run. And you didn't. This game has no bearing on that. You're never going to face the Cardinals or a team like the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Yeah. George is a great player, Hall of Fame player, and a great competitor, and a very good teammate. He's dead wrong.
Yeah.
He's dead wrong. The idea that Brock is back and now they're going to be a championship team, the offense isn't going to be that much better with Brock. It might be a little better. It's not going to be that much better. And you don't win with offense. You win with defense. And he should know that. And this team ain't beating anybody with that defense. I also want to say, Iggy, and I'm not going to name names, but there are writers, talkers, whatever the hell it is, podcasters out there who have this narrative that the Niners are back and this proved it and this proved I'm right. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when media become rooters. We're not there to root. We're not involved. I don't get a paycheck from the 49ers or the Warriors or the Giants. I'm not on their staff. I'm not there to root, and I'm not there to criticize unfairly or personally. I'm there to tell the truth as I perceive it and understand it. So when I see journalists who root, this proves, it makes me wonder, what world are you living in? That's how I feel.
I agree. And I think with the 49ers, when they celebrate a win like this, it indicates to me that they're a little too focused on what people say about them.
Yeah.
Who cares if Grant Cohn and Lowell Cohn were fair or were too harsh on you after a loss? You're the 7th seed in the NFC. What are your aspirations this year? Do you want to win a playoff game? Do you want to win a Super Bowl? Or do you want to just prove us wrong? I mean, think about it this way. If they really believed that Brock Purdy was the difference and their offense was the best, they could have brought Brock Purdy back against the Rams and really proven it, right? But they didn't. And they said why they didn't, because that's a tough situation and they might have lost. And why would you want to hurt the team's confidence? Forget hurt the teams. Why would you want to add to the narrative that this team is maybe a little dysfunctional or not as good as, or maybe the rebuild isn't working, or whatever negative narrative the Cones are trying to, why would you add to that? Why don't you just let Mac take the loss and then bring back Brock against the Cardinals so you can really bolster your narrative? I mean, that's to me, that game was an exercise in narrative control. You were going to beat the Cardinals one way or another, but you just did it in a way that suited you. And again, I don't know that necessarily sets the tone for you making a run this year.
Also, this is our opinion. We haven't talked to Kyle about it. We don't know what his motives were or what was in his mind, but it sure looks like it. It sure looks like Purdy was ready to play against the Rams. He knew he was going to get his ass kicked, Kyle, and he didn't want to subject this kid to that because he knew he wanted to bring him back the next week. And by the way, he's allowed to play whatever quarterback he wants in whatever order he wants. But I think Purdy could have played against the Rams and it wouldn't have looked good for the whole team. It would have hurt them. And if Purdy had not played against the Rams, then you would have had a quarterback controversy. Who's better going forward? So Kyle shrewdly avoided that, but I think he had a strategy, and I think that's why he didn't play him against the Rams.
Yeah, and you can sort of see how the Niners are positioning themselves to control the narrative the rest of the season. Are they going to go deep in the playoffs? Probably not. Why? Because their defense isn't good. So they can use the excuse, well, we had some injuries. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa left. But at least in the meantime, Brock came back and he put up a bunch of good numbers against bad teams in our weak schedule. And maybe we won some games and maybe the offense looked good for a month. And we could say that, we were as good as George Kittle said we would be. It's going to take our defense more than a year to get there. And that was always part of the plan. It was a long-term plan. And you know what? Brighter days are ahead of us next year. Buy season tickets.
You know what? I believe the defense will be better next season. Plus, they'll have guys back. I believe that. But the offense will be much older.
Yep.
Trent Williams will be older. McCaffrey will be older. That's very important. Kittle will be older. People get older. And as they get older, they're not as good. So I don't listen. I read or heard somewhere that someone said they have a 3-year plan, and the fans and the media should understand that. And this is only the first year, and they should accept maybe they wouldn't do as well in the 3-year plan at first. My attitude is, what about the 9-year plan? These guys have been there. The coach and the general manager have been there for 9 years. How many plans do they get? Aren't you supposed to be ready after 9 years? Bill Walsh was gone after 10 years. seasons, I should say. And he run 3 Super Bowls and set up Seifert to win 1 or 2 more. I think the second one was all Seifert. But this horseshit about a 3-year plan, I think 9 years is all you're allowed. And they should not be talking about not doing well this season. They should be talking about doing very well because it's the 9th year of a 9-year plan.
And it's like the idea is that they gave this unprecedented contract to Brock Purdy, and so they have to rebuild with a bunch of players on rookie contracts to make it all fit and balance. And okay, so that presumes that the Niners are actually going to have drafted well and are going to draft well over the next few years. I mean, that's not what's happened the last half decade. And the reason that they're winning now, the reason they have like a winning record now, it's not because Michael Williams is so good or anyone they drafted this year. I mean, Ricky Pearsall's done absolutely nothing the last 2 months. I mean, the reason they're good now is because Christian's hanging on and Kittle's hanging on and Trent Williams is hanging on. Like their core, their older players that they've given so much money to are still producing now. Can we say that next year? I have no idea. We'll see.
Oh, I have no idea. And I'll tell you something else. In the third year of the 3-year plan, I don't think McCaffrey and Trent Williams and Kittle are producing. I think they're definitely on the downhill. And I think before that 3rd year, Bill Walsh would have gotten rid of all 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're planning for the future, that means you're kind of planning for life without them. So why are they still here? Just to put up numbers and to get you praise, control narratives? I mean, do you just not want to lose? I don't understand. This whole season feels very much like we have modest goals, but let's make it look good. Let's make the playoffs. And if we lose in the first round, people will say that we were gritty and impressive. Wow, look at how far we went. I don't like it.
The goal shouldn't be, they're 7-4. The goal shouldn't be modest. The goal should be we're going for it.
Yeah.
Do you think Kansas City has modest goals? They have a worse record than the 49ers. You think Andy Reid's sitting there saying, we got modest goals? He's probably got an ulcer from what's going on. I want to kick ass this season. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, that's why I don't like George Kittle's thought process. It's like we have this super special quarterback and this super special offense, but the defense isn't good enough. And so we can make the playoffs and lose early, and it'll be an accomplishment. If you have a super special offense and a super special quarterback, you should look at yourself as a contender every year, and you should do whatever it takes to win the Super Bowl, not kick it down the line to 2026 or 2027. Like, you don't have that luxury.
No, and it's unrealistic, and it's unfair to the fans.
Yeah.
They're not lowering ticket prices. They're not saying, we have lower expectations this season, so we'll lower the ticket prices.
No, that would be nice.
That? Yeah.
No. Corey Coleman says, beats the Giants and Cardinals, quote, we're back, LOL. Yeah, they do a lot of that. S. Joaquin says, are you a Niner fan, Grant? Grew up one, but I don't root anymore. You wouldn't either if you were in my shoes. Jack Daniels, new member. Good drink. Ricky V says, keep in mind we are the most injured team. Stop talking about Purdy. Our offense is not the problem.
I hate this injured line.
Yeah.
Take a look at Arizona yesterday.
Yeah.
Injured? Take a look at Arizona where they were. They have injuries, tough shit. The league doesn't care, and I don't care either.
Seems like the Niners are getting kind of healthy, too. I mean, Bosa and Warner aren't coming back, but you could say that about every team. A125 says, Shanahan is lucky nobody was hurt in the 4th. Pure negligence that CMC, Kittle, etc. are in the game.
I'm not. You know what? I'm back and forth on that. I heard some of his remarks today. He didn't seem like a crazy person. He had his reasons. He won the game. No one got hurt. Let's move on.
Aru Illustri says, I feel more confident when I see the ball leave Mac hands than Brock's. Mac seems more decisive, accurate, and unrattled.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. I do.
Even yesterday, Brock Purdy played really well, didn't make any mistakes. His average time to throw was 3.3 seconds, which is an eternity. Like Max at 2.6. And you could say, well, Max getting, he's not pushing the ball down the field. He's not making plays. Okay. Well, that's how Tom Brady played. I mean, 3.3 seconds. That's like Russell Wilson stuff. It could work. Josh B says, frustrated that Lynch did nothing at the deadline. We need pass rush and did nothing. Miles has more sacks than our team. We still need pass rush in 26. Frustrating too, because you have Bryce Huff. If you had another edge rusher, you'd have a pass rush, but he can't do it on his own. Bill Kennedy says, why are Rams and Niners buying soccer teams? Prestige.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. And again, I can't talk to the Rams. The Niners are entitled to buy whatever the heck they want to buy as long as they spend on football players and understand the football team comes first.
Correct. Josh B says CMC and Kittle should have been traded after 2023.
I don't agree.
All right. Let's talk this one. Over the weekend, Ian Rappaport, NFL.com, network, whatever, reported that Mac Jones is going to be in demand this offseason because apparently the quarterbacks in the upcoming draft aren't so special, and there's a dearth of good quarterbacks coming out. So Mac's in demand, and the Niners could trade him for a draft pick. Do you think they should?
Okay, I have very strong feelings about this. I want to remind people and Ian Rappaport that as far as I know, Mac Jones signed a 2-year contract. A contract is a contract. He is contracted to play 2 seasons with the 49ers. Now, I know a lot of people bitch and moan, I want an extended agreement, which I hate that narrative. It makes me sick. The Niners would be crazy to trade him. Crazy to trade him. Let's say they could get a 3rd-round pick for him, Iggy. Does that seem reasonable?
Absolutely.
Okay. They get a 3rd-round pick for him. First of all, they'd fuck it up. That's for starters. So it's not as valuable as you think, but there's something much more important than that. They need 2 quarterbacks. Now, I'm going to say Purdy and Mac Jones are about the same level. We could argue about it. If you say Purdy's a little better because he's more mobile, sure. I'm willing to grant that. But he's not in a whole other universe than Mac Jones. They're both pretty much the same. And I'm going to call them B+, A-, Iggy, those guys. Whoever plays is going to get hurt because the offensive line is never going to be that stout because Kyle is, although he does very many good things, often puts his quarterback in peril. He does. It's part of how he runs a game, calls a game. So if Purdy's going to start, let's project to next season. If Purdy's going to start, he'll get hurt. He got hurt this year. And then Mac will come and his knee will hurt, his oblique will hurt. And they need 2 quarterbacks. Because of the way they play ball, they need 2 quarterbacks. And they should thank God that they have Mac Jones signed to a 2-year contract. So under no circumstances trade him. It would be suicide.
It's so interesting because it seemed like they were so grateful for Mac Jones at first. Brock Purdy goes down in the first game. The season's on the brink of collapse immediately, and Mac Jones steps in and not only plays like a starting quarterback, but like a top 10 starting quarterback, at least in this system on this team. And they were so happy. And then it was like, ooh, but you're sort of changing the narrative now and making it seem like we spent too much money on the other quarterback, and now our judgment looks bad. And it seemed like now they're trying to rein it back in a little bit. Like, yeah, Mac's great backup quarterback, but we don't really need him. I mean, we appreciate what he gave us, but we don't really need him. I mean, Brock's back, and Brock's special. And any criticism that Brock has, it's from haters. It almost feels like they would entertain a trade of Mac Jones this offseason just to, again, control the narrative and maybe get rid of the quarterback controversy, which is such a good problem to have.
Iggy, I would say they need Mac Jones almost as much as they need Brock Purdy, if not the same.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they need him as much. They're lucky to have him.
I mean, they could have a playoff game where both of them play.
Yeah.
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 They really do need him. And I got a prediction. I think they're going to trade him.
Really?
I think they're going to trade him.
Why?
I think they're going to convince themselves, and I think there's going to be a lot of reporters that help them convince themselves you don't need Mac Jones. Mac Jones was a product of your system, and trade him somewhere else, and he's gonna flop on on another team just like Jimmy Garoppolo did. He's Jimmy G 2.0. Get a pick for him while you can, because who knows, if you throw him out there for more games, it could all come crumbling down. I think they're going to talk themselves into it. I think it's going to be a big mistake.
Boy, I agree with you. You know earlier how I said that Jacoby Brissett is a high-end backup quarterback.
Mhm.
All credit to him.
Mhm.
Mac Jones isn't a backup quarterback. He's a starting quarterback.
Hell yeah, he is.
He's a
And
starting quarterback.
he might be better than Darnold. Like, Darnold's having this great season with the Seahawks, but he just melted down against the Rams through 4 picks. Mac didn't do that against them. He faced the Rams twice, beat them once, played even better against them in the loss. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Darnold is the kind of guy who has mental crack-ups. He'll
Yeah.
be all right, and then a game you need to put him in the asylum. He just cracks up. Mac Jones, his personality is very confident, buoyant.
Mhm.
He doesn't seem to have a lot of football neuroses.
Mm-mm.
Whereas the other
Doesn't.
guy, I think the other guy does.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Sam Darnold. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about Brock Purdy. I don't
Yeah.
think he has neuroses either. I think they're both very level-headed guys, the kind of guys you want.
Yeah. And it's nice to have 2 of them in the sense that neither one's a real A quarterback. So they should be pushing each other. And I'm going to say this again. I firmly believe it. They'll never do it because they paid Brock Purdy already, but there should be a quarterback competition. It would bring out the best in both of them, because you really don't know which one's better. There should be a quarterback
Right.
competition next year in the
And
offseason.
I think, I'm sorry again, I think we could say it again. Grant and I were very much against the extension for Purdy. We would have made him play this season on his damn contract that he had and see how good are you. And after missing all those games, I don't think he would have gotten this $50 million a year.
No, and it's the same thing with Mac. Like, Mac had a good 8 games this year, and now he's going to want to go to another team and start and get an extension. Sorry, dude, you signed a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
You have to be the backup here one more year for $4 million. So sorry, but it's not our job to make you happy. We have to do what's best for you, and we've gotten in a lot of trouble from trying to make players happy. That's how that's how Brock Purdy got his contract. So we're not going to make the same mistake twice. We wish we had taken our time with Brock Purdy. You're going to have to wait 1 more year, Max. Sorry.
And what's more, Iggy, they did make him happy. They gave him a chance to start. They gave him a chance to show his character to the whole league. And I want to say, he's getting $4 million a year. I don't get $4 million a year.
Right.
It's not what other people get. $4 million a year is nice. If you have 2 years like that, it's $8 million.
He probably got $25 million from the Patriots. So he's not hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that anyone owes him any apology. He owes them thanks.
Agree. And he should want to be on the 49ers again next year. He should want to be Brock Purdy's backup again next year, because, again, Mac's going to play. And when he does, he's going to be in a system that's good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Corey Coleman says, yes, my Hawks lost yesterday and Sam played horrible. The fact that we were a field goal away shows how good the team is. Go Hawks.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about the quarterback, but it's a really good team. It seems like when the Seahawks lose, it's because of that quarterback. Josh B says you can get out after 2026 in Purdy's contract too.
Well, that's an interesting concept. Let's see how he does.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get this year and next year. It's Nick says trading Mac to control the narrative is very soft, and yet very on brand, I think.
I would say not. I agree with soft. I would also say weak.
Weak. I would also say arrogant. Like, we don't need this. We can get our own plan. That's even better. Curtis Rourke will do what Mac Jones did. We can get another Mac Jones. Mac Jones is just grow on trees. Andrew Powell says, how high a pick would you need to get to trade Mac?
I wouldn't trade him.
I wouldn't trade him, man. He's a quarterback on your team that's going to start. It's worth a lot. Bill Kennedy says, wonder what Mac was laughing about in the final huddle.
I wondered about, Bill, God love you, because I was watching that too. Don't you wish you were in that huddle and you could hear what he was saying is, I guess I'm good at kneeling down. I mean, you wondered what he was saying, but he was clearly enjoying himself. He didn't feel belittled by being asked in to kneel. It amused him.
Yeah. It's just funny. Like he gets his final stat line for the day is no passing yards and -3 rushing yards. What went through my head when I saw it is like, hold on, you left Brock Purdy in for the whole fourth quarter, that garbage time, but then you brought him out so that Mac Jones could take the kneels. I mean, usually you want to take him out so that he doesn't get hit. You're not going to get hit on the kneel down. I remember when I was a kid, Steve Young would frequently be sitting for a long stretch in the fourth quarter with the hat on. Remember, with the hat, and Elvis Grbac would be playing, right? They do that all the time in the fourth quarter. You did it for the kneel down. It almost, and again, I keep going back to the theme of controlling the narrative. It was all about making Brock Purdy be, the player of the week. And his stat line had to be pristine on top of the win. I don't think they wanted him to have -3 rushing yards. That was my thought. I don't think, because he didn't scramble in the game. He didn't run. And if he had the -3 rushing yards, people would have, I don't know, noticed. So that's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I'll tell you what I thought. I didn't think that. I thought Kyle has blown so many fourth quarter leads. I mean, in fact, on his gravestone, it could say, I blew a lot of fourth quarter leads. Yeah. Look at the Super Bowl. Yeah. It could be. I mean, that's his thing.
I invented new ways to blow fourth quarter leads in big games.
And Iggy, I think he was scared to death, even against Arizona, that he would blow a fourth quarter lead, and he wasn't about to do it. That's what I thought.
In his defense, it's not like his defense could stop anything or will at any point this year. They made Jacoby Brissett look like, I don't know, John Elway. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about why the Niners are going with Brock and why they need him to look so much better than Mac. Is Kyle wrong to choose Brock over Mac in this manner and to sort of choreograph things the way he is?
No, not at all. Again, I'll repeat. It's his team. He can play whatever players he wants. And Brock is good enough that he can win games, I believe, that Mac could win. I believe unless we're proved really wrong in the next few games. But I believe he's good enough to win those games. Plus, they're paying him a lot of money. So I don't think he's wrong at all. That's the full stop.
What I think is interesting about this is, like, we don't really know what determined the timeline of what brought when Kyle Shanahan brought back Brock Purdy. We assume he was ready last week because Kyle said so. But after the game in Arizona, Brock Purdy went to the podium and he made a comment about finally feeling ready. He said he went to Shanahan and told him it's time, which to me kind of made me feel like Shanahan was perfectly fine playing the rest of the games with Mac Jones and was going to wait for Brock Purdy to come in and say, it's my team, I want to play. Okay, fine, we paid you a lot of money. I'm not going to say no. But I wasn't going to go to you and beg you. I really like Mac Jones. So, okay, you want to play? Fine, let's go. That's what I saw.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No, I don't believe it. I'm sorry. It's a nice story. Yeah. I don't think he went in, coach, I'm ready. I think the coach decides who plays. He gets input from the players.
Hold on. Let me stay with this for a second.
Okay.
Is it possible that was the Niners' approach with the Jaguars game? Hey, Brock, we cleared you. It's been 2 weeks. We think you're healthy. We want you to play. And he played. And it didn't work out well. And the Niners were like, all right, well, let's avoid that again. Okay, he has to be the one to push it this time because we don't want to put him into a victim position.
Okay. Then I have a question. Why didn't he say that before the Rams game?
Yeah. Why didn't Brock say he was ready before the Rams game? Yeah. Maybe he looked at the tape. Maybe he looked at the all 22 and said, you know what? It's the funniest thing. My toe hurts. It hurts. A little sore.
Yeah. Iggy, I have another question that you could ask him. They said they put a special gizmo in his shoe to protect his toe. Is he still wearing it?
I did ask him that question. I asked him that question.
Okay. What happened? Yeah, I like it.
It was last week when he was coming back, and he was saying how ready he was. So I was like, all right, but what about that gizmo? You still wearing that gizmo? It's a steel plate. And the idea is it like prevents you from extending it. And he said no. So we'll see.
He's not wearing it anymore.
Now, what I didn't ask and I want to ask is, are you okay? Well, what kind of treatment are you getting before the game and at halftime? Are you getting any injections? What are we talking about? But it's
I don't
possible
like
that even if he was, he
Iggy.
would say none of your business, or I don't
Yeah,
have
I
to tell
don't
you.
ask about injections. I don't ask about
No.
stuff like that. But I would
Okay.
ask about the plate. So I think you went as far as you could go, and I think you did great. You have a
Thanks, Dad.
real journalist instinct. You do.
I'm trying. I'm trying, and I've noticed that on YouTube and on TikTok, it does well if I do a video asking a question and showing the guy's answer. So
I
it
love
sort
it.
of gives me the motivation to ask good questions every day. Got to be prepared
Yeah,
because you would go down there and plan your questions.
I would. I even write them out sometimes. And
That's right.
sometimes if you were sitting next to me, I'd say, "Watch this. Watch what I'm
You
going
hit
to
my
ask
leg.
now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny. My Kyle's never met you, may not know who you are, but you really did ask Jed York why he hasn't fired himself.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I even said, "Watch this,
best.
Iggy. Watch." Right?
Watch this.
I did.
And you did it with a microphone. Andrew Powell says you would trade Mac for a top 10 pick. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. I
I
was trading a
wouldn't.
top 10 pick for Mac Jones.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade him.
Wellness Matters says Kyle would never scold Mac the way he did Brock.
How do you know?
Yeah, when did he scold Brock? Sarah says the domestic goddess is here for Papa Cohn.
Well, thank you so much.
Josh B says they were up 25 with 8:28. It's a 4-possession game. Get Garendo, Watkins, Robb, etc. in. CMC almost snapped his leg in the fourth. Jacob Brissett wasn't coming back.
I love it. Brisket. I could see where you get a brisket there.
I like brisket.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little prize pick. What do you say?
I'll try.
A little, and then we'll talk about the Carolina Panthers. This will be our introduction to the Carolina Panthers. Brock Purdy. Hold on. Bryce Young, 182 and a half passing yards against the Niners defense.
Absolutely. That's easy.
I would think so. Now, he's had some meager games in the past, but these are the Niners we're talking about. I mean, they just give you the 6-yard pass if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Just as long as we're on the same page with that one. Brock Purdy, 246 and a half. He went for 200 against Arizona. Didn't have to throw for more than that.
I'd say under.
Ooh, less.
Fewer.
Rushing yards. Rico Dowdle, he's having a good year. Had a couple of slow games the last couple of weeks, but they're going to feed him. And it's the Niners we're talking about. What do you think for Rico?
No, you better do Rico. I don't know nothing
I better do Rico. I'm going more for Rico. I'm feeling good for Rico. Christian, 74 and a half rushing yards for Christian, more or fewer?
Fewer.
Yeah, agree. Receiving yards, George, 53 and a half. He's done more than that the past 2 games.
I'd say more.
Monday night, he's going to show up. Tet McMillan, the rookie, he's good. He's going to go for so much more than 58 and a half receiving yards. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now. Ooh, those are the picks. All right, check it out. Brock Purdy, Bryce Young, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Rico Dowdle, Ted McMillan, 3 of each. Flex it. Submit it. Download Prize Picks. Play 5. Get 50 instantly in lineups when you use promo code COHN. It's like Cohen, but without the E. It's my last name. And download it now. It's available in 45 states, including California and Texas. So, hold on. Shyla Q says, what did you think of Nick Martin's performance? I thought he played pretty well. He didn't mess anything up. He's a rookie. I feel like he should have been playing in the past. So I'm happy for the young guy. He's going to be playing a little bit more too in the future because Tatum Bethune got hurt. Bethune. All right. Next game. Carolina Panthers. They're 6-5. They started the season 0-2, which means they're 6-3 in their last 9 games. They just had a huge victory over, I don't remember who. Hold on. Who they beat? Sorry. This is terrible. They beat Atlanta. Niners also beat Atlanta. They beat them in overtime, 30-27. Their quarterback, Bryce Young, threw for 450 yards. This is going to be a bigger test than the Arizona Cardinals. It's a team with the winning record. They're mediocre. It's an interesting test for the 49ers. How mediocre are the 49ers? Can they beat a mediocre team like Carolina? They should be able to, but their defense is just so bad. It makes you feel like maybe Bryce Young could go crazy.
Okay, Iggy. Let's do a little education, which I need as well. Tell us a little about Bryce Young, what kind of quarterback he is, and what you think of him.
Okay, so Bryce Young, went to Alabama, and he was the quarterback after Mac Jones. He won the Heisman. He was the number 1 pick in 2023. The second pick was CJ Stroud, who beat the Niners a month ago. He's probably as good as CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud was better his rookie year, but Bryce Young's really improved. He's short. He's about 5'10", but he's not like Kyler Murray. He's not a dual threat quarterback. He's a lot like Purdy, really. I mean, he scrambles around to throw. He's a playmaker. He's a good athlete. Questionable field vision because he's short, but he's a hell of a competitor, and he's been winning since high school. So he had a lot of. He didn't have much success the first 2 years of his career because the team stunk. But their coach, Dave Canales, is pretty good. He came from Tampa Bay. He did a good job with Baker Mayfield. And he's slowly been building a team there. They've been drafting in the top 10 for years. They have a wide receiver who's really good, Ted McMillan. He went to Arizona. He's a rookie. They have a running back who's really good, Enrico Dowdle. They're not the best team, but they beat the Packers. They're not the Cardinals.
Do you know anything about their defense?
Do I know anything about their defense? Not a ton. It's okay. Let me see who they got on their defense. Let me get some names for you. Derek Brown, their defensive end, is excellent. Nick Skirton, their outside linebacker, is pretty good. J.C. Horn, their cornerback, is great. It's a mediocre defense. The Niners' offense should be pretty good.
Okay.
It's really, again, it's the test is for the Niners defense because they make backup quarterbacks look like excellent starters. What are they going to make Bryce Young look like in this game with no pass rush? Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a little step further. If the 49ers win this game, will it be more significant than a win over the Cardinals?
Absolutely.
Why?
Now you're beating a team that's mediocre, a team that has a winning record. Now, I don't know. I doubt that the Carolina Panthers are going to go to the playoffs. Still, though, it would be 2 wins in a row. It would maybe indicate that the 49ers didn't fall victim to their own hype and praise and stuff like that. Like I feel like they have a lot in the last couple of years. It would maybe show that they're getting serious and maybe on the verge of going on a run. Because they're not going to make the playoffs if they don't. They have an easy schedule. They have to take care of business right now. This is the easiest part of the easy schedule. They got to win this game and the next game against the Browns and the next game after that against the Titans. They got to win 4 in a row. They've won 1. So at least it would show that they're capable.
What if they lose to Carolina? What would it indicate?
They're not a serious team, that they're not going to the playoffs, that they can't sustain momentum, that something's wrong.
Okay.
They should win. They're 6.5 point favorites. They're at home.
How many points?
6.5.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So clearly this game means more, obviously, than the Arizona game. But Iggy, it may even mean more than the last Rams game. Because this is, you didn't think they would beat the Rams. But now they got their quarterback back, and everybody's talking about what a wonderful thing that is. They should beat these guys.
Yes.
So we will learn more from this game than from the previous 2.
I agree. I mean, you're not at the Rams level. No shame in that. They might win the Super Bowl. You beat the Cardinals. Wonderful. They committed 17 penalties, and they might have the top 5 pick in the draft. Carolina's kind of on your level or slightly below. And if you lose to Carolina with Brock Purdy and Kittle and McCaffrey and Trent Williams on the field, it makes you feel like, what are they building? Maybe Carolina's building something better than you. Maybe they're better. I mean, they have a younger team than you. Maybe they're the team with the bright future. But if you beat Carolina, it's like, okay, that's another hurdle you cleared. We can see what your level is. Maybe that loss to Houston was just kind of fluky on the road against an AFC team. Maybe you really are one of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah. So actually, this is a game. I look forward to every game, but I look forward to certain games as I'm going to learn. And I feel this is one of those. And what's more, they're going to learn.
Yeah. I mean, they faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a better team than Carolina. The Niners kept it pretty close, but lost. Maybe the Niners aren't quite as good as Tampa Bay. But if they're better than Carolina, that's something. I mean, Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this game still means more if they lose than if they win. If they had beaten the Rams, that would have been incredible. But
Oh,
if you beat Carolina again, it's like you're supposed to, and we'll praise you for that. But again, you don't throw a party. You don't celebrate in the locker room. It's a Steve Young sober moment when you walk around and remind people this isn't it.
yes. But I would say it's a good step forward. Beating
Excellent step
Arizona
forward.
was not a step forward. It was standing in place.
It was
Beating
stopping the bleeding.
I love it. I love it. It
Yeah.
was. Yes,
Yeah.
because they were hemorrhaging after that last game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but beating these guys would be a step forward. And
Absolutely.
if I were there, I'd praise them. I would for
Absolutely. It
that.
would be a big step forward. And I kind of expect them to win. They have all the talent to win this game. And then it would be, I mean, really, their losses this year have been to AFC teams. I mean, they lost to the Rams. No shame in that, but they lost to the Texans. And I sometimes they just feel very unprepared against random, like they lost to the Jaguars and looked awful. They haven't
Yeah, they
beaten an
did.
AFC team since I want to say they beat the Patriots week 4 last year. This Panthers team is an NFC team. They're 6-5. They have a very similar record. They're a game behind the Niners. It's a very important game. The Niners
Yeah,
should take it seriously and they should kick their ass. I don't know if they have the defense to really pull it off, but like Kittle said, their offense is supposed to be really good. The Panthers defense isn't anything special. They should score 30 points. Minimum. Have to.
I love it.
Yeah. But I don't have a real I'm not ready to bet a bottle of wine with you right now on a Monday. Maybe that's the downside of moving this show to Mondays. It'll be fewer wagers.
It's all right. I lose all the time.
That's
Anyway,
true.
we're going to your brother's house for Thanksgiving, and we'll bring some nice wine over for that.
We sure will.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell him what I got you for your birthday?
Oh, when I turned 80, Iggy got me. You went to Kermit Lynch, right?
Mm-hmm,
If
mm-hmm.
you don't know, Kermit Lynch is maybe the best wine shop in the Bay Area, but it's really French, which is mostly Burgundy and Syrah and South, and Italian. And he got me this beautiful Burgundy and Côte de Nuit,
Louis Saint George.
Nuit Saint George, and well, we'll have a special dinner one night and drink that.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
It'll be nice.
You got me a bottle of for my 21st birthday when I was born in 1988 Mouton Raw Shield.
I did.
Did. I still
I
have the
did.
bottle. It's pretty tasty. Thanks, Dad. Michael
Okay.
McCann says you add talent at the deadline and pull your starters and blowouts when you're planning a playoff run. Kyle never rests his starters. He's all throttle.
I love the image, all throttle. I love it. Good going.
I just remember when Seifert was the coach and I was a fan of this team and I was a little kid. I used to vivid images of Steve and Jerry talking on the sideline wearing those little hats. You knew the game was over
Yeah.
when they were wearing the hats.
Yeah.
They had a lot of games like that. Kang says
Yeah, that-
BP wanted comeback game at Arizona, his home, and they suck. He's from Arizona.
Oh, because she's from Arizona. That's
Homecoming.
digging deep. That's digging
Digging
deep.
deep. Bill Kennedy says Niners usually lose 1 or 2 that they should win.
I agree.
Yeah. Noah says Purdy will be completely exposed by the end of the year as the inferior quarterback. His downfall will start in Cleveland. Wow. What do you fucking know?
Whoa.
Whew. He did lose to Cleveland 2 years ago, though. And the thing about Cleveland, as embarrassing as that franchise is, their defense is outstanding, and they have the best pass rusher in football. One of the best of all time in Myles Garrett. He's just incredible. So, could happen. And Kyle's 1-9 in his career against Jim Schwartz. He's got the Schwartz.
Hey, Iggy. Several years ago, was it in Cleveland we went and Johnny Manziel beat them? Was that Cleveland?
Oh, yeah. We were there for that.
Here's the thing. You remember Randy Cross was the center of the great 49er teams. He emailed me for that game, and he said, and Cleveland sucked, and poor Johnny football wasn't that good. He said, they're going to beat the 49ers. And he was right.
I was sitting next to you in the press box. I remember you tweeted something like, I'm here in Cleveland. Browns suck, expecting to watch the Niners win. And he DM'd you like, I wouldn't expect that at all. And you were like, well, what do you know about the Browns that I don't know? And he's like, it's not about the Browns. It's about how poorly coached The Niners are. That was the Jim Tom Sula year. He's like, they're not going to win a
Yeah,
road game. They're on the
that's what he
road.
wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he thought of Tom Sula. Randy
If I
Cross,
remember,
who's
I think they were like 4-4 or 5-3 at home that year, and 1-7 or 0-8 on the road. They
yeah, he
really
was
sucked.
right.
Yeah,
Iggy, you know that Randy was UCLA, right?
that's right, baby. That Jim Tom Sula year was incredible. Week 1, they won. I forget who they beat, and people, talk about narratives. People were talking about how the Niners were smart to get rid of Harbaugh, and this guy was really great. And people were looking at him like he was this next superstar and trying to find his whole story and interview his people loosely connected to him and shit. And then week 2, they went to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wasn't that special at the time. They're okay. And they lost like 48-17. It was such a sobering moment for the narratives. And then we saw after the game in the locker room, it's like when you see like in a movie when someone's like there's been an explosion and their like arm's been blown off, but they don't know it yet. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, everything's fine. Oh, he was walking around shaking people's hand like it wasn't the most embarrassing loss ever. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your effort.
Yeah,
like,
he was thanking the players. Thank you for your effort. And as you recall, we happened to be standing near Joe Staley at that moment.
Yeah.
And he went to Joe and said, thank you for your effort. And Joe gave us a look like, can you believe this shit? I mean, wasn't that the look, Iggy?
Yeah, like, look, I know I'm a good player, and I know I wasn't directly responsible for the loss, so thanks. But I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've played for a lot of coaches. When you get your ass kicked like that, generally, we're all supposed to be worried that you're upset. You're not supposed to be worried about us, you know?
And Iggy, that's the time I wrote after the second game. Oh, yeah. Forget this guy. Forget him. I wrote him off after 2 games, and I was right.
You were right.
I was right.
And I think Joe Staley wrote him off after 2 games too. Like
Iggy, he gave us the look. It was the
that's the kind of thing a position coach would do. Like, hey, I'm the good guy. Thanks for your effort today. Of course, the head coach is going to chew your ass out, but I'm not the bad cop. I'm the good cop. Tom Sula, he couldn't handle that.
Listen, I hear he's a big success in Germany.
He was born to coach in Germany. They love him over there.
Yeah. I'm sure he eats a lot of schnitzel. He eats a schnitzel.
I like a good schnitzel.
I like a schnitzel.
Yeah. What is a schnitzel?
Isn't it like a cutlet
chicken,
or something? Yeah.
Breaded chicken
like
cutlet. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
A little gravy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go watch some Monday Night Football. Thanks for hanging with us late today on this Monday. I was flying, and then I came back. I fell asleep. And your mouth. Well, you couldn't even move your mouth.
No. I was numb. I was paralyzed on the left side, but now I'm okay.
But the thing is, we waited a little bit, and as a result of waiting, we had our best show ever.
It's best show ever.
Yeah.
All right, Iggy. I love you.
I love you too. Enjoy the game. I'll be back tomorrow.